Do some rock, paper, scissors. Decide who's gonna do the intro.
All right. All right. Ready, set, go.
Round one. Fight!
Ah, damn it.
Oh,
snap!
Damn it.
Yo, with the clutch paper.
That's pretty good. All right, you guys ready to cringe now?
Oh
Yeah,
What
yeah,
you get. This is your reward. Welcome everyone to Player vs. Podcast. I'm Lunamink. I'm joined with Stallion and Hoff. Also, Hoff was a guest last week, but he will be our third co-host
Oh my god.
for this. Shut the fuck up, all right? I'm working on it, all right? He's going to be our third co-host from now on, so that's pretty exciting. Today, we are going to be mainly talking about the Game Awards. We'll also just get sidetracked and talk about whatever.
The year in gaming, 2017.
Yeah, just reflections on what we've
There
played.
We go,
And,
subtitle.
I mean, we could talk about the first thing is who won Game of the Year, and if we had any other ideas on that. Winner was Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Beat over Super Mario Odyssey, PUBG, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Is that in order? Yeah. So that's winner, and then Super Mario second place, and PUBG is third.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Do you know what I think is
But,
interesting? Just looking.
Is that relevant? Because I mean, you know, if you ain't
Well,
winning, you lose.
I'm gonna make a point. Yeah,
Sorry.
second place is just the first loser. What's interesting is that you do have two full release Nintendo games.
Yep.
And you finally have a pre-release, early access game.
Yeah.
Crests
Yeah.
the top 3 games in a year.
And I mean, the PUBG beat out Horizon Zero Dawn, which was, obviously
Sure.
it was a PlayStation exclusive, but it still had a lot of hype around it. Whereas PUBG just kind of came out of nowhere this year in terms
Right.
of popularity. It just kind of showed up one day and everyone just jumped on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to set a precedent. I mean, it's already been set that alpha games have been rising in popularity for a while, but like with PUBG being as popular as it is going to be, or as it is right now, like there's going to be so many more in the future. Like I think AAA titles are going to go into alpha before they get launched now. VR is especially popular right now. You have games like Fortnite, PUBG, and H1Z1, which like make up the gaming universe. Like multiplayer FPS, like traditional ones, like COD and Battlefield, like they're not dying, but like it feels like they are second to battle royale games now.
Well, because I mean, I feel like it's got a lot to do with, the player's sense of achievement when it comes to winning a game. Because you win a game in COD and it's like, oh yeah, great, my team won. It was one team against another. Whereas in a battle royale, it's like, yeah, I won, I did that. Fuck all you nerds. I'm better
No,
than
it's
you.
true. To have that solo mode available, and as well as
I
having
mean, even as squads, it's like, yeah, me and my team, we beat out all of these other coordinated teams. We were the best team in this game, and it was a lot of fun throughout. Because
Yeah.
everyone, not to mention, everyone starts in the same position. You drop in with nothing, and you have to gather from the world.
Yep.
Like no one has an advantage in the likes of Call of Duty and Battlefield. People have like the air quotes perfect loadout because of balancing changes and things like that. You can start with very powerful guns. Whereas in the battle royale type games, you kind of have to build yourself up, or you get incredibly lucky and get the most overpowered game like immediately, and then just steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a little more variance with the battle royale games.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this all
Right.
like stems from the survival genre being like so popular, right? Like there's like serious phases of gaming, like things like boom, go decline, right? And survival games were so high when DayZ came out, like that was the shit, right? Like that was what everyone was playing. And it kind of like slowly morphed itself into PUBG, which is technically a survival game because you're going and looting houses and you're engaging with lots of people on a big map, but it's like faster paced.
Yeah, it's
Right.
It's kind of like a snippet of a survival game. It's very immediate.
A little faster paced.
I completely agree that it was an evolution, and it was just like a natural evolution of the style of game. And
Yeah.
I still hope that, because there's a style to being a little bit slower, the DayZ pace. And it was always like, I always thought it was interesting that I never thought that DayZ was conducive to like Twitch streaming, unless everyone watching was totally on board with that kind of very slow paced.
You get to make more storylines, right? Daisy's more of like a
You can
role-play
be-
game.
Well, here's the thing. With obviously with a survival game like DayZ, is there's so many more elements to it. You know, there's more to the health and the hunger and thirst and all that. And you become invested in your character because you spend time, you know, looting and taking care of yourself, and you know, lighting a fire and warming up when you get cold and drying off when you're wet from rain, stuff like that. So that's always going to be fundamentally different, obviously, in that way than a Fortnite or a PUBG or something. But what I find interesting is, so now this Tarkov game that I'm talking about. So I bought that this year. It's in closed beta. It's sort of like DayZ Mini. You know, you have gear that you're invested in. You're invested in your main character. You take them in on these runs to try to get more gear and to, you know, to kill other players and to loot up. But it's not as slow paced as DayZ, and it's certainly not as fast paced as a battle royale game. So you get something in the
DayZ
middle.
Light now with Let's See.
It's cool.
Yeah, I've watched some gameplay from it. I have a little bit of a problem with that game because I feel like one, it's a lot of inventory management, and then secondly, like there's not much. I don't want to say like risk from going out. Like you're afraid of losing your stuff, but like if you want to get really in depth, like you can like, protect your gear, or like what's the real benefit from going out into the world when you have all this stuff already, right? Like there's a point in that game where like you kind of just like you're done, right? I don't know. Maybe I have never personally played it, but like from watching it, that's what I feel like.
Oh sure, yeah. But at any moment, you know, you could get domed and lose all your, you know, your rig and your chest armor and your helmet and all that stuff that you spent, you know, a good amount of time. If you lose a lot of good gear, the way to crawl back up from it is not like instantaneous. I mean, you can get lucky and kill a nicely geared player and then just take their stuff, but other than that, you have to do the scavenger runs and, you know, go in with basically not like nothing, like a shotgun, and have to try to take on, you know, a whole map of AI and play other players and try to get their stuff so you can sell it and buy good gear.
I mean, I guess it's a good mix between like what DayZ had going for it was that you had all this gear and you had one life. If you die, you lose all that gear. It's over, and that's the thrill of like a survival type of game. It's like you want that gear and you grow emotionally attached to those objects, and if you lose them, it's like, oh my god, it's so devastating. But if you kill someone, it's so exhilarating because you don't want to lose it. While PUBG's like, oh, I want to go out and kill stuff real fast, but I also want to also have one life. And Tarkov kind of like mixes both of them in an interesting way. Like you still have that gear and you can still lose it over time, but it's a little faster paced. You don't have to trudge through like a huge wasteland.
I also think the idea of being able to get your stuff back is a really good motivator for people to do real stupid stuff. Because the closest thing that I've played to any of those kinds of games is Ark, which is obviously very different in a lot of ways, but it's still, you know, if you die, you can go back to your body, but when you die, any player on the map can just come up and just take all your shit. And if they do that, there's not really a whole lot you can do other than either start from scratch and try and build all of your stuff back up, or go raid someone else. And I've noticed that what a lot of people
Rust with dinosaurs.
They get real stupid because they're like, oh, that dude just jacked all my gear. I'm going to go chase after him with this stick. Meanwhile, I'm sat there with a crossbow. It's like, come on, I dare you. And it's great. Like, because you know, if once you died, it was just gone, that, you know, they'd just be like, well, guess I'm starting over regardless. But it gives you something else to do to try and go and reclaim what was rightfully yours, you know?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that interesting though, that now like we kind of look at, you know, because I'm thinking just mentally. So if I think of, well, when was DayZ released? And you go, wait, hang on a second. No, DayZ hasn't been released. You know, but we sort of think about this, you know, early access as a sort of the game being released, you know, even though it could be hardly even representative of what the final, you know, game is going to even resemble.
I mean, it's just like, when do players first have access to said game, whether it's a full release or not.
I mean, there's a difference, right? Like based on the quality. Like DayZ's in the state right now where, like, I don't know if they can do much more to it. It like feels like a completed game, but they just refuse to release it because like if they release it right now, like the negative backlash is terrible.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
they're
there's a
just right. They're talking about in early 2018, announcing beta status,
Yeah, it's been way too long. That game's, I don't know how they recover from that. Although I'm still tempted to buy it. It's on sale right now for $25. And I look at that game like I have a more of emotional attachment to that game, but like it's something I still would buy. So I don't know. Maybe they're still doing something right.
See, as
You know,
someone that is mostly, I'm a console gamer. Um, whenever a game is talked about, you get like a set beta date, and then you get the release. So I feel like it's a way different, because you guys are talking about this game, and I've been hearing about this game and shit like that, and people have had access for a long while, but it still
and it's
isn't
still
released.
open-ended. Right.
And
It's on its
you were just saying, like,
open-ended. There's no release date.
they're just
they're not
now
even going to
talking
say
about there being a beta date in 2018. It's like, wow, really? That is not even a game yet. It's a
right.
crazy thought to
True.
me.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I
Very interesting.
am optimistic that it will be the best zombie open world survival game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only one like it,
Just
right?
because. Yeah, if you think about it, if you think about it, almost as well, I don't know. I wanted to draw a parallel kind of with Star Citizen, where they have the different modules. There's the different aspects of DayZ where you have the weather. The weather can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
There's wildlife. There are wolves that can kill you. There are the zombies, which
Yeah.
they've spent a lot of effort and time and work on, and there are obviously other players. So it's like if you think of all of those as like a module, so they recently patched like sound and the world.
Frame rate's top notch now, 60 FPS all the time apparently.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they have a team that works on like the wildlife. So the bear, the wolves, the deer that you can hunt for food. Things like that. So
Yeah, true.
I mean, still, like, I think it's good that they're letting players have access to all of these things as they add them. Whereas, like, a lot of games, they'll try and, well, some games, I should say. Again, speaking from a console perspective, so to me, all games, they'll have the early access, the beta, whatever. And then people will pile on all of the complaints, and they'll try and fix it all, and then release it, and then it just brings up a whole batch of other problems because of the fixes, and they've changed things we like, and they've fucked up things, and it's just like a whole thing. So it's good that in a game like that, on that platform, it's like, you get small chunks of the new cool stuff being released, and it can be fixed accordingly, one by one, as the problems come up, and deal with them. The main game that I had in mind while saying all that was Destiny, because it's been a train wreck. Like, well, the thing is, I don't think it's ever been a good game. Those of us that were dedicated to Destiny 1, we love the game, but there were a lot of the problems that we had with it were like, it could be so much better. The game had so much potential, and with Destiny 2, they've just gone the complete opposite direction, where they've taken all of the best stuff from Destiny 1, sucked it out, and given us this hollow shell of a game that could have been. And if they had done it step by step, who knows? Destiny 1 might still be alive.
Well, I mean, we had to
would have
move
never had to happen. Bullshit.
Yeah.
If they had done it right and kept releasing, because I mean, fucking look at GTA. That game's been out forever. They're releasing small updates every few months, and people are still flocking to it because it's the updates they release are really good. They patch accordingly and things like that, and it's just They just keep adding on to this really good game and making it better with every update. Whereas Destiny did the opposite, where they would, make some things better. They would take one step forward and two steps back every turn.
Big advantage for GTA is that they have a modding community. Like, I don't know if the analogy can be that straightforward because, like, they do release those small updates, and some people do come back and get them and play in the universe again. But they have like a very large role-playing community. They're creating much more mods for like survival and battle royale things, like we've been talking about. Like, GTA is a game that they're allowing the community to change. I always think that's important.
Oh, I'm talking about on console.
No,
where none of that is the thing, where you just have what they give you.
Right.
If
you guys don't have much to play
if you talk about if we're talking about games that can be altered by the community and stuff like that, then any game is on the table if it's released on PC. But if we're talking strictly about the content that the company releases that the consumer gets to play, then GTA has got it right now.
Okay, that's fair.
They're doing things well.
I feel like Destiny's held to a really high standard, though, right? Like, compared to other games, like, Bungie is criticized if they do anything wrong because we assume that they can't do anything wrong.
Well, no, they're criticized because they do everything wrong.
They don't do everything
Ouch.
wrong. Like, we were
Yeah,
talking
they
about
do.
it. We really like the soundtrack.
The one thing. Oh, that's true. No, you're right. I'll give you that. The soundtrack was fucking phenomenal. The only saving grace of that game. Not worth buying it.
No.
But you should, like, if any of you haven't played Destiny 2, you should 100% go look up the soundtrack to that game. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, it got second in audio design. HellBlade 1.
Which is bullshit. Oh, never mind. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, you forgot that HellBlade 1.
No, sorry. Because the audio design and the soundtrack.
Score music. Oh crap, my bad. Yeah, so score music. Destiny was mentioned, but Nier Automata one, which is very. I mean, I've watched the game. I never took any liking to the soundtrack. I never paid attention to it, but it would probably be better if I was like absorbed into that universe, you know.
So I mean, since you brought it up, let's talk about HellBlade.
Okay.
Did you guys play that? I didn't pick it up.
It is.
Stallion.
Oh, it is phenomenal. So I was reading an article where they said that the whole idea behind the game was to provide a good playing experience. You know, like the combat's decent. There are a lot of, again, decent puzzles. They're not particularly difficult, but they're fun. They provided a very fun game, but it isn't a particular, like, I don't want to say it's not an enjoyable experience, but they were going for a very difficult thing to experience. And they used the audio design to kind of convey that perfectly. If you're playing with a headset, the entire time you have like a bunch of different voices, like upwards of 5 voices talking at you, but they're all kind of like really low. Not really low, but kind of quiet. So it's almost like they are in your head the whole time, and there's very little in the way of music. There are certain audio cues to, signal certain things and stuff like that, and it really just engulfs you in the world, and it really links you to the character. It's less so that you're controlling this character and, going through the game as her, or going through the game, controlling her, but that you are this character and you're doing everything you can just to survive. And it's insane the way they did it. It's so good. Also, the music is amazing. When there is music,
Cool.
It's brilliant.
Cool.
This is a PS4 exclusive, right?
I do believe
It's
so.
on PC.
It's on PC. Okay.
Oh yeah. You're right. It is on PC. And Hoff, if it's on sale, you buy that. You buy it because it's not a particularly long game either. I think I beat it.
I know it's only a
3
few
streams.
hours. Okay.
I played.
Yeah, it's
I played
probably
for 3
like
streams and I beat it,
less
and it
than
was
20-hour game or something like that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of, and if you know at all, the model that Roberts Space Industries has been using for Star Citizen and for Squadron Squadron
Ooh.
42.
You are gonna have to give me some details because I have no idea
Okay.
what you're talking.
I have an opinion.
It's yeah. Let me. I'll do the primer. I'll do the primer. This is Stallion. This is the most extreme version of a crowd-funded project in gaming that there has ever been. So it's the guy that did Chris Roberts. He did Wing Commander, and they're making this insane in scale space sim with like crew ships, multiple crew ships, and this crazy big world, and with a module in the game called Squadron 42, which is like the scripted gameplay version of the game. And the rest of it's like open world. There were, when they launched, when they first started offering to buy into this game, there were $10,000 packages, $20,000 packages, like fly out to California and meet Chris, get all these crazy ships. You can go on the site right now, and to get like one ship, one tank is like $90 to unlock it. They're doing an extreme version of this like pre-release. Buy this skin for $5, unlock this ship for $60.
Right.
And I don't know what let me see if I can find like what the full the funding number is, but I want to say it's like over $20 million that they've taken in.
Right.
That's my crazy part about it. And that's why I kind of feel like a little put off by it, is they have so much money and the game is just still so far away from ever being made. It just feels like it'll never get there. But I'll buy it when it comes out for $60. I'm not going to be one of those people like...
Stop.
Yeah.
Is this right? 100% accomplished. $65 million. This is off their website.
So, sorry, I'm going to sidetrack us a little bit right here, because someone brought this up during one of my streams from last time's podcast. When we were briefly talking about loot boxes, and I had mentioned Fortnite as one of the games that locks things behind loot boxes. There was a component that I forgot to mention, which is that as of right now, you can buy the full Fortnite game, but in January, they're releasing everything for free, and it's going to be funded entirely through whatever the founders, air quotes founders, put into it, and buying loot boxes and things like that. So it is going to be 100% free game that's going to be funded by loot boxes and things like that. Well, Battle Royale is free, but the PvE, the PvE is locked until the new year, I believe. Sorry, go on. I just had to bring that up because someone called me on my bullshit, and I was like, "Oh shit, you're right. I'm sorry."
My record has been set straight.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super hyped for Star Citizen, but just the question is, does it ever come out? And people can spend the money they want to spend it. Like, I don't care. Like, I always feel bad, like, when people criticize how you spend money. It's like, it's your cash. You get to do what you want. They're not doing anything wrong, because they're saying what's going to happen with your money.
Yeah, there is a client. I mean, the community, this is an early access. It's not just that they're going like, here, give us your money and you get nothing in return. Like, people can mess around with every module as they are building them. And what I do like is it does not appear to be I think these guys' hearts are in it. Doesn't appear to be a cash grab. Every time they come to a new gaming conference, they have significant progress to show off. It's so far they've made a lot, but they have a lot of promises to keep, like a lot of promises.
So okay, my one question before I input is, are there, because you mentioned like the super big fucking expensive packages and things like that, is there like a reasonably priced one where it's like you get the very basics, no extra goodies, get the very
it basics? Does look like for about $60 you can get the game and the campaign. Right, you get the open game and the campaign. I think just you get like a basic type ship, but
okay.
One of the biggest things I think that people are the best thing that you could possibly do is find find someone to befriend that is the big swinging dick that has like the huge multi-cruise ship, that you can hang out with and try all that stuff out on.
Yeah.
But you buy like the basic package because you can partake in the whole game if you buy it. But
Yeah.
let the guy that has the big bucks buy the big ships and then just
I mean, in that case, fuck it. That's cool because like having the big giant crazy fucking packages is fine if people want to give them that money to make sure that the game gets done, quicker, and they have that money just lying around. I don't know who the fuck's sitting there with 20 grand, just like, yeah, I'm gonna invest in this game. Like, but shit, if people are giving them money and it is actually progressing the game's production, they're not just like, haha, now we have all the cash. Quick, release some new skins. As long as it's
Right.
actually making progress, fuck it.
I've always wondered that
good.
as someone that's never, like that doesn't know game development, because obviously I'm not a game developer and I don't work for one. I don't do audio,
Yeah.
work, all this stuff. So you wonder, like, because some of these teams that are developing the very specific aspects of these games, it's not necessarily that they, with more money, that they can just, it's advantageous to the company to hire more audio coding guys, or you know what I mean? So it's like, so more money doesn't always mean more progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, as long as some of the money that people are investing in is, I'm not saying that those that are investing the huge amounts of money are the ones, like that are helping make the most progress in the game. I'm just saying, having those packages available is definitely not a bad thing.
Well, no, like if you
I'm
heard
totally-
what I
I'm
mentioned, it was the top packages, the 10 and whatever they
Yeah.
were like, you pay this, we'll have you out to the game studio, you'll meet Chris Roberts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like they're not doing that just for the game. They're going like, I want to meet the team. I want to tour the facility. I want to see what they're working on. So for 10 grand, I mean, if that's your money and that's the experience that you want to have, people spend that on cruises and vacations and stuff like that all the time. So yeah, and because the reason I thought that was interesting is because, DayZ, obviously the way that they tried to go about, their system of funding was to do a little bit of work, right? Do the pre-release, just have something that functions barely.
Yeah.
You do the release, you get everyone psyched about it. They throw their money at you, and then you do so many sales on the front end that you don't need to worry about funding, for a while, at least down the road. Star Citizen has so much money, that it's like you go like, wow, this could fund a gaming studio for a decade.
Well, I feel like, the big investors are definitely saying, if this isn't good, I'm gonna beat the shit out of someone.
Well, wouldn't you feel, right? Like, what if you dropped like $500 on one of these crazy packages to get this awesome ship, and then it comes to, you come to find out way later when the game is close to release that, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They might have so much momentum behind them that no matter what, they're going to have, a good product at the end. Maybe. I don't know.
I think you would definitely hope so.
They have so many resources,
Yeah.
It's got to be at least okay. It can't be a complete disaster.
I mean, wouldn't that just be a kick in the dick, though? Like, you invest all this money into it, and then you finally get to play full game. Everything's come together, and then you're just like, wow, this is painfully average. Like, this is so mediocre. Oh, God.
What I think is, I'm hopeful for, and it's because they're doing pioneering stuff because of what they've been able to fund. So they are actually like creating, brand new things that have not existed in a game before. It's almost like, it's kind of like what No Man's Sky tried to do, but with like 1/100th of the funding or something like that. You know what I mean? And all the hype.
Yeah.
We're gonna open the No Man's Sky
We can open that
can of
box.
worms.
I don't see it on the Game Awards, but I'm sure I'm just missing it, right? Just
Oh yes,
such
that's
a great
it.
game. Yeah,
It's it's got to be on there.
It's gotta be there. Where is it?
It's got to be on there.
Yeah, I mean, I never bought it. I watched some of it. It looked bad. Easily most disappointing game in a really long time.
Well, because it had so much hype before release, and then for the first 2 days, everyone was like, "Yes, space travel!" And now what?
Yeah.
And it was just like, "Oh, it's just okay." And then, like, I guess there was some big update earlier this year, and then
Got better.
everyone was like, "Yes, it's good now. It's it's a lie." I see. I've been
Oh, shit,
lied
it's a
to.
lie.
It's
Much
definitely
like
not.
the cake, 'tis a lie. Yeah, I'm bringing that back.
Bring back the 2008. It's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
not where it needs to be, but like I've heard it gotten better. It's adding some more long-term goals, except other than just like exploring endless space, which sounds cool in theory, but like it's not that cool.
You know
Some
what?
base
I feel like
building.
every bad game that's come out in the last like 3 years, I've every time I've talked to someone about it, I always hear them say the phrase, "It got better," and that's a problem. That's not okay. Games shouldn't be getting better; they should be good from the get-go.
Like a year later.
They can get better. That's fine. It can go from good to great. But if a game is releasing, it should be good.
Yeah, nothing in this. He's right. Lunatic is right. Nothing in this trailer was playing right now. Nothing is in the game. None of this. This plethora of wildlife, like none of this is in the game.
The color, just something that isn't brown, like endless dirt. Like Mars is cool, right? Like everyone fantasizes about like having a colony on Mars, but like endless Mars planets, and you can have anything you ever want. Like you could have a planet that looks as beautiful as this, a snow planet. That would be really cool. But no, every planet is the exact same. Just looks like a big rock mess. It's gross. It's actually like it disgusted me when they released this game under like such just false advertising.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just so
I feel like they may have made the trailer before they actually made the game. Like before they finished the game, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna show this to everyone because this is what it's gonna be." And then it came time, and they were just like, "It's too late. We have to release it. The deed is done. We're fucked, but we have to do it." Like, well, shit. All right, let's do this thing. And then they got torn apart by everyone.
They didn't
But
release
don't worry, it got better.
Got better.
They didn't release it in early access, right? This was a full game launch.
It was a launch, yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah,
like,
I
you
believe
can
so.
kind of say
Actually, come to think of it, I don't even think that game had like a particularly successful open beta, if there was one at all. I don't remember hearing anything about it until its release.
I don't remember anything. Dude, look at this space battle. Like, what is this? This isn't in the game. It's like fighting space thing.
That's another you know what, Mink? Bringing this back to Destiny, just real quick.
Just real quick.
There's a reason that people are pissed off with Bungie about the way they handled space, and it's because of Halo Reach. The one spaceship mission is phenomenal, and they do nothing with spaceships. The entire of the game, where you go battling alien races, they do nothing.
Dad, are you talking shit about
Oh,
Halo
there's
Reach right now? Halo Reach is not a game you can talk shit on. No.
I'm not talking shit. No. I'm saying that Bungie
He said there's a
have
good
made
space thing in there.
phenomenal
Okay.
space travel.
Okay.
Well, not
Alright.
space travel, but a phenomenal space mission.
I mean,
They've done it.
That was a
And then
Destiny
they
1
took
thing.
none of it into Destiny, the next big title for Bungie.
That was a Destiny 1
really-
miscommunication. Like everyone saw like the airplanes you would fly, and it's like, oh, I can control that. You know, I can have this spaceship and I can fly it around. And, like the game's not really about that, right? Like the game's about the gunplay. So like, I'm not that upset about that person.
I mean, still, but when it comes to a comparison about with Halo, Halo is very much about the gunplay. Very little about the spaceships. They still had a phenomenal spaceship mission in Reach. Destiny did not. You can't even move it around on loading screens. It moves by itself and it looks shit. Even
Ouch.
games way back in the day, you know, during loading screen, fucking Goku, you can make him eat a bunch of fucking ramen. Boom, next fucking thing. But no, you just have to stare at your own ship in space for a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah, I mean the loading screens are too long. That's more my problem about that.
I don't give a fuck if they're too long. They could be
Oh,
20 minutes long. Just let me move my ship.
You wouldn't be saying that late game.
Bullshit. I'd be flying my ship around.
God.
Why is this
Fuck's
chest?
sake. That's some
arguments.
real rage.
I know, right?
Dude,
I am passionate.
I spent so much time on Destiny 1 waiting for it to be the perfect game because it could have been. A few minor tweaks from year one, it could have been the perfect game. They stopped taking one step forward and just kept taking two steps back. It was no longer a
Okay.
drunken stumble. They were just moonwalking.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous.
I still have minor hope for the game to get better, but then they released a DLC, and all I've read about that DLC is it's absolute garbage.
Oh,
and
we
no
want to
one
get
should
into
get
the
it.
fucking DLC.
I mean, I don't
Fuck
know if I want
DLC.
to. Oh, God, I don't know.
This is DLC. They hype up this fucking character you meet him once. They hype up this boss. You don't even actually get to fight it. All the guns and stuff they're trying to hype up. You get it once, and that's it. End of gun. There you go. And it's exactly the same as all the ones that already existed in the game. What's the point? Don't give it a new skin and a new game, and then one different perk and go, "Yep, whole new gun." Fuck off. Acts exactly the same. It's exactly the same. There's the same gun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with Destiny, right? I mean, I
What
don't
I'm
know.
saying is, Bungie are now the company that made Halo, and then fucked up, just royally.
Still Microsoft fucked up. Or ruining Halo, but yes, I mean, both companies are annoying right now.
I mean, well, yeah. Anyway,
a
so
lot of negativity in the year of
talk-
2017 of games, you know?
Did you guys
Which
want to
I-
talk at
I'm-
all
I'm
about what's
actually
upcoming in
somewhat-
2018?
I'm down. Are we done with
Yeah.
2017?
I
We're
mean,
moving past that year?
what do you have anything else of note in particular that you would like to talk about?
Cuphead's amazing.
Cuphead,
Cuphead-
sure.
All right, hang on. Let's take a minute to talk about Cuphead. I'm fine with that actually because I haven't played the game.
Mhm.
I have not watched any gameplay, but I've seen the art style and I'm in love with it. So let's talk about that.
I mean, yeah, I played it a little bit for a couple hours. I didn't finish it, so how much can I actually like this game? I'm not sure. But like, just for the world it created, I'm in awe of what they did. Like, just game development wise. Like, I don't have to actually like the game, but they've made something very special. I hope more games are like this. As much love that was put into this game is put into other games.
Yeah,
That was about it.
that was another game that actually was in production for a long while. I think I can't remember who it was. Someone was talking about playing a kind of previewed version at PAX in 2015.
Of what game?
Cuphead.
Oh, Cuphead. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were talking about playing, you know, like they had like the booth at PAX in 2015, and people were playing it then, and it just now got released this year.
Yeah, they took a long time. They hand drew
So
all
it
the
took a while.
art from it. And...
Right.
Yeah.
Hand drawn.
And I
Yeah,
think
the art style.
the final product looks phenomenal. I've heard no bad things about it at all, other than from people who were expecting a nice, you know, happy kids game going in, only to find out that it is not that. Those that knew what they were getting into were just like, yeah, it did everything I wanted it to and more. Oh, wow, brilliant.
Right. For a side-scrolling platformer thing. deal.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing is
I
like,
found-
it
okay.
is a super basic kind of premise, but they
Right.
nailed it.
Very original. Yeah, for sure. So here I found a little bit of a list. There's some on these that I had forgotten. To
Okay.
be fair, so I thought that I didn't play it, but I watched like a whole playthrough of Resident Evil 7. I thought
Yeah, I
that looked
watched-
like a really cool game.
Yeah.
So that came out January 24th. So very early in the year, but that was a 2017 game. I thought that one was kind of cool. And then in March 21st, there was the other debacle of the year, which was Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oof.
Oh yeah, I remember when that came out. There was a lot of stuff. There were a lot of words, a whole lot of words.
There were a whole lot of YouTube videos that were put up about how unpolished the bugs, the bad animations, everything that was wrong with that game.
And then there was also a lot of controversy about like one of the lead designers, and he said something akin to, "We could have released anything, thrown the Mass Effect name on it, and people still would have bought that shit." It was like,
Jeez.
wow, really? That's how you look at your product? Beautiful. Really nailing it on the love there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another flash in the pan game was For Honor, right? The slashing game.
Ooh. Ha! I actually still play For Honor because
Okay.
I not because I particularly enjoy it. It's one of the most rage-inducing games I've ever played. The community is toxic as shit. Bearing in mind, I was one of the 13-year-old kids on Call of Duty saying, "Fucking 1v1 me, faggot. You're not as good as me." And For Honor is still more toxic than that. It
Wow.
is
Okay.
disgusting. But I still play it
Alright.
because I deserve it. When people send me messages saying 1v1 me, faggot, you're a pathetic piece of shit who lives in your mom's basement, I deserve it.
Right.
I play like garbage. I do everything I can to piss people off. That's how I have fun with it.
You were trying to ruin their
But
time.
it is not a good game. Anyone here that hasn't played For Honor is like, well, I hear it's getting better. It's not. Don't buy it.
I actually think it's. I mean, I don't play it that much, and you play it more than me. We might have that syndrome of like you've played the game too much and now you hate it. But like as a casual game, just as like a cool new idea, I like it. It does swordplay very well.
That's the thing is it doesn't in the
I think it does.
in well, because you're at a stage in the game where you're getting matched up with people with a similar skill level, where people haven't quite figured out the stupid exploits and shit like that. So it seems very balanced and very good, and that's true. At the beginning, it is, but it gets
Ignorance
to a
is bliss.
point. It gets to a point in the player skill level where people will that there was a tournament earlier this year where someone they were exploiting the game. This was being broadcast on Twitch live to thousands of people, and they were exploiting the game, and they won it. And they didn't condemn them for that. They weren't like, well, you didn't play the game as we intended it to. They gave them a pat on the back and a reward. And it's just like, that's stupid. You're stupid. Stop it.
Nice.
I still think it's fun to hit people with stuff, you know?
No, you're right. It is. It is, but it's when it comes to games like that, it's because it is in its basis form a fighting game. There are unique characters with unique move sets and little skills and blah 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 blah. But the way they've got it set up is it's not balanced at all. There are characters that are terrible, characters that are way too powerful, and they're not doing anything to change that. They're just like, the community will figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I could see
it's kind of sad.
It seems the official release of Slime Rancher was August 1st. Have you guys seen that game? Very cute.
Game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was really tempted.
Me too. I've watched a bunch of it though, so.
One of because I was scrolling through my Xbox like ready to install games because I have like 140 in there. So every now and again I'll scroll through and be like, oh, what should I play? And I saw Slime Rancher in there. I was like, huh. Actually, really
there's a demo.
Tempted.
Yeah, there's a free demo.
It's in my ready to install because I have a few of my friends' accounts, and I guess one of them owns it.
Okay, sure.
So I can play it, the full game.
Another one
I've
that
been tempted a few times.
Seems like people enjoyed was Prey. That was a big title.
That's on sale right now for 50%, by the way, if anyone's interested.
Okay, right. Let's see. I think that would be worth a playthrough. It looked like it was good fun. So half off would probably be worth that money.
Oh, yeah.
I've had some friends. I've seen them playing Middle Earth: Shadow of War. Right, that came out in October.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
It
that
looked
game
like
got a lot of hate, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It did,
Did.
yeah.
Everyone
I was
I've
wondering what's
spoken
wrong
to,
with that.
opinions are opinions, right? But people say it's
Yeah.
worse than
Wait,
the
is it
first
the end
game.
game? Yeah, is it
I
the end game? Like, you know, it's like it looked like the fighting, it looked like the mechanics of the game was solid. You know, for fighting and everything like that. Maybe it's you know, once you're, you know, you're building up your army and all that stuff, maybe people didn't like that sort of end game part
yeah, maybe.
of the deal. Outlast 2 came out this year. I don't know. I was a fan of Outlast. I played that through with my wife.
Another
I
game
did
the
not.
general community says doesn't live up to its predecessor, but again, opinions.
Okay. I'm showing, yeah, all overwhelmingly positive for Slime Rancher. All reviews, what is that? Very positive for Outlast 2.
Mhm.
So at least maybe it's not a disaster. It
Oh
looks like from the
no way!
reviews.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
Outlast is Outlast. It's nice that they made it. It's nice that they made a solid sequel to it. That's nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
South Park, the Stick of Truth is classic. I haven't played it. I watched,
Mhm.
but Fractured Butthole came out in October.
Yeah. Which again is another game that got a lot of hate, but from a very particular group of people, which
Okay.
are of course the SJWs. Were
Really?
very like, this is yeah, there were a bunch of YouTube videos just like, this game is the reason that, you know, fucking racism exists. It's like, fuck you, they're making fun
The
of
game,
racism.
yeah, the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a social
'Cause, like,
statement on all that stuff. Like
one of the things, like, when you're
dense.
creating your character, the darker your skin tone, it says in the corner that the game's getting harder and stuff like that. It doesn't actually change the game. It's just a thing that they have on there to make it. It's a joke. They're trying
Yeah.
to say that it's
Right.
harder for, you know, for black people to live in our world and shit like that. It's a joke. But everyone was just like, it's racist. They fucking hate it. They hate black people. South Park's the worst. I was like, no, fuck you. It's funny.
These guys have been doing this. Well, how long is it now? I mean, it's
Oh,
20 something seasons, isn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
very, very long. Very long time. And they're still doing it better than Family Guy.
Oh, you've got, yeah, wow. You've got, yeah, it's edgy. It's edgier. It's always been edgier than Family Guy.
Oh, yeah.
And Family Guy, I noticed at the end of this season, Family Guy kind of got caught up on like when they did an episode where Brian, you know, writes something on Twitter, and the Twitter mobs come for him in real life and stuff. I thought that was really funny, but like they're kind of late to the party on that. You know, South Park's been doing that for like a couple seasons now.
Simpsons did it first.
Right.
Oh, Simpsons. Yeah, there was the college campus episode, right, where they had the bots. Anyway, yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I was making a
they're-
South Park joke.
Well, right. Simpsons did it first. Simpsons did it first.
Although I will say,
yeah,
while we're talking about this real quick, Simpsons actually, like, because, you know, you look at Simpsons and on the surface it very much looks like not like a children's cartoon, but, you know, looks like it's geared towards a younger audience. Definitely not. It's not as like, it's not as out there and edgy as like South Park.
Mhm.
But there's definitely some stuff in there specifically for adults. That's just like, oh, I got you. You know, I like that.
Mhm.
They found a really good balance, and it's working for them for, again, like 20+ years.
A couple other games, just to note my eyes. One really good game that I really love is a mobile game. Actually, it's called Monument Valley. It's like a
Okay.
puzzle game, 3D puzzle game. It's pretty short. The second one came out, but the first one's a little bit longer. Nothing story about it, but the puzzles are just really fantastic in it. And then my
Okay.
second favorite game of the year was Walking Dead: A New Frontier, where I feel like they really rebounded from the second season, which I thought was pretty disappointing. Really made a good third installment, and the finale, No More Walking Dead video games, upcoming next year, I think, or 2 years from now. They're making the last one, so I'm pretty hyped. I've been following that for a while.
Okay.
That's
I
about my year
don't
in
think
review.
we've talked enough about Hellblade.
This mobile game, this
Except
looks really
I-
neat, actually. This looks
It's
really
really
cool.
good.
I like the style.
But that's all I got. 2017 was an okay year with games for me. Like, I know there's a lot of good titles that, like, if I had a Switch, I think it would be unbelievable. But overall,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
I mean, for me, 2017 had For Honor, massive disappointment. Destiny 2, massive disappointment. Battlefront 2, massive disappointment. But Hellblade's my favorite year so far.
There you go. Saving
Isn't that
grace.
funny?
Well, we can start off with
We
that
already-
trailer that Stallion's been wanting to talk about for like 3 weeks now.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go. I knew it'd make him happy.
Yes. The Hoff, did you get a chance to watch the Detroit? What was it called, Mink?
I
Detroit
did,
Become
and
Human.
and I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so I love the idea of the game.
Mhm.
I really do. I think games tackling more troubling subjects should be promoted these days. And I understand, people were kind of all in a tizzy.
Yeah, the backstory of
because,
this is this trailer created a lot of controversy on Twitter and other
Yeah.
social media platforms, and people got really upset because, as you'll see in a couple seconds, they depict a scene where this little girl is murdered by her abusive father, and they like blame it on the player for not doing things to actively prevent that from happening. And that's the type of game. It's like a Walking Dead game, It's not like a linear path. The story goes many different ways, and you control where it goes.
Yeah. And unlike most games, it does.
Cool.
You have a very, very real impact. Because if you fuck up, a child dies. Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, I get why people are like, hey, that sucks. But I don't see anything wrong with a game like that coming out at all.
No, it's it's a real subject. Like
I remember distinctively there was a big something like people got really up in arms about it when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3
Oh,
came
the
out, I
airport
think.
scene. The airport scene, right?
And possibly, I just know there's some big explosion and there was a child in the place
No.
beforehand, and everyone was like, fuck you. You can't put this in a game. And now this is like taking that and knocking it up by about 10. And it is.
Wow.
It's a very real situation that you can't hide away from. And it's not like they're promoting it. They're not saying, yeah, no, you should go beat your kids till they're dead. That's not what they're doing at all.
It's not part of the gameplay that you are the abusive
Right.
father that ends up murdering your daughter.
Yeah. You did like
a bit
it's
different.
not one of those situations where you have to spam X. Like, no, it happens as a result of a choice that you make in the game. It
Sure.
sucks. But if anything, I mean, I feel like that will hit home with most people more than it would in like a movie or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
this
it's
game made
like-
me...
Well, in this situation, you play as, the robot lady or whatever. And you make choices.
Oh, is that the deal?
that-
You're like an android, and
I
what is
think
that?
so.
Yeah, it is. You're an
I think the
android.
whole
That's
thing
why
is
she's
that,
got
like, she got broken, and then when she was rebooted and comes back, that's when you step in as her, to make certain decisions.
I mean,
And so you're not a part of the family per se. Like, I don't know. To me, it sends the message of if you can do something to prevent it, you should.
Sure.
And
Well, right,
so
that's
if in real life, and
ethically.
you know that, a family 2 doors down from you, someone is beating their child, and you're sat there and you're at home and you know it's happening, you can do something about it, should you? 100%. This game is the
Mhm.
exact same situation, but it's virtual. There's no actual lives at stake. So it's the
Well,
perfect environment for it.
It brings up a very, very interesting level you're talking about. So if it's an android, you're playing
Yeah.
as an android.
Yes.
It brings up the ethical questions of, so now you're not a person, you're not a human being.
Yeah.
You're AI.
Yes.
This in the moving forward in the future, you know, these are ethical concerns that real situations will be dealing with
Yes.
when we have eventually AIs in our, you know, in our day-to-day life. So, you know, like it's like what, yeah, people are bringing this up with self-driving cars right now, right? They're literally there will have to be an algorithm that says in a situation where a decision has to be made between crashing into a, you know, a van that, like, let's say the algorithm is going to decide most likely has a family in it,
Right.
or, you know, a pickup truck. I mean, you know, you're just making up like a scenario, but anyway, these will all have to be programmed into the AI, all of these
Yeah.
things, all of these situations. So if you are an android, you're programmed with the laws, and you're not supposed to harm anyone, but
Yeah.
you would have to program into that android, well, if the in this case the father is
Yes.
harming the child and there's imminent danger of him killing that child, is the android allowed to harm the father?
I mean, not just that, but they would have to program it in such a way because, you know, in this situation, the android would belong to the father. So, are they programmed to do what's right for the
Yeah.
next generation or stay true to their owner? Also, things that are going to have to be taken into account.
Absolutely.
Basically, fuck Skynet.
Yeah. No, so again,
Dude.
but I to your first point is the game is important,
Yeah.
because it is controversial. I completely agree.
Definitely. And I think it's yeah, I'm gonna talk about Hellblade again, just so you know. Well, because it wasn't controversial, but it definitely, you play as a character who's dealing with a lot of mental illness, and you experience those illnesses. Like as you're going through, you do feel like you're going crazy, and all of this stuff. And we shouldn't shy away from shit like that in games, especially in games, because
Yeah,
again,
well, and it shouldn't get like
there's
a
no
big
real world problems. Well, there are no like real world consequences for things that you do in the game. So that's 100% where we should be tackling these problems and bringing them to light.
and you know where these problems are not, you know, there's no movie being made like this game.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, so to tie it into, you know, movie production and the overall culture that, you know, but it would be great. I think that Hollywood movie takings would be better than their slumping current selves.
Yeah.
You know, if they were tackling hard issues like this instead of pandering and just saying like, oh well, look at us, we brought an ethnicity to Star Wars that it wasn't in Star Wars before, and pat themselves on the back for that. And then meanwhile, you know, their Monday and Tuesday takings at the box office are,
by the way,
half of what the Force Awakens got.
Very, very quickly, who cares if there's a black dude in Star Wars? There's a tiny green guy. That's like a whole nother species. Just saying. Pretty sure Yoda wins.
I see a lot of people are.
Isn't Yoda? Aren't aliens diverse? Isn't Yoda diverse?
Oh my god!
I mean,
he's saying that Yoda is a diversity hire?
He's a little person of color.
Yeah, he is. Imagine if Yoda was black.
Just watch. In 20 years, they're going to reboot the original Star Wars trilogy, and Yoda will be played by a black guy.
Oh, what's the? Oh, he's a dwarf. He's a black dwarf. He mostly does comedy stuff. What is his name? It's gonna bother me now. He was in Bad Santa. You know that guy? Maybe not. I don't know. I thought
No. Yeah, I do, but I can't. I don't know his name. Just Tony Cox.
Right. It'd be great if he was playing Yoda. They just stuck some pointy ears on him, gave him a lightsaber, was like, right, in you go.
Hey, freaking Mel Brooks did it in Spaceballs. You know what I mean? He just put on some pointy
Yeah.
ears, and he was yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what I'm going. I got a little list here as well. So Detroit, that looks amazing.
Wait, real quick on Detroit. Real quick on Detroit, because I see everyone's super hyped about the game. One, real quick, I don't mind the child abuse thing, so that doesn't have anything to do with my opinion. I think it.
Well, hang on. Let's not say
good.
Let's not say the phrase. I don't mind the child abuse.
I don't mind it in a video game because I think topics like those. It made me really uncomfortable to watch that trailer, but I think that's important. Like
that's the point.
Yeah. My uncomfortability is actually like it's good that they're doing that because I am uncomfortable with that stuff and I wouldn't want to talk about, and they're making the discussion come up, right? But the game in general isn't like I really love these type of games too because I love the Walking Dead series, Life is Strange, the one with like all the fantasy characters. That's great. I don't remember the name anymore. But this game's like weird in the sense that they release different trailers and it seems like different stuff. So you have the child abuse one where you're like that maid robot, and then this one's with a police. And then they released another one where like you're leading a rebellion as like the androids, and then you have to decide if androids have feelings, and you're basically like organizing a rebellion against humans. And I find that super corny. And if that's what the game is actually about, I'm not even like interested in it anymore because I feel like that's an overused topic and just kind of generic, and like it doesn't push the boundaries like you were saying, Hoff, on the idea of like how would we program these people? It's just like, oh, now they have feelings again. It's like, oh, should we give them rights? It's like, I don't want to do that again.
It's a regurgitation of iRobot. Another one, cool. I don't know if you guys played Red Dead Redemption, the first one. So, but right? Hype for 2018 is coming out.
I didn't play Red Dead Redemption, but I played when I was much younger. I played a game called Gun, which I feel is somewhat similar, but not nearly as refined, which I enjoyed thoroughly. So I'm thinking that when Red Dead 2 comes out, Red Dead Redemption is probably going to go on sale, and I'll pick both of them up and play through them.
That's cool. Yeah, I think Red Dead.
I do like Rockstar games.
Red Dead will probably age just fine. Like, it's not gonna. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be disjointed playing Red Dead.
No,
that's awesome.
Which actually,
cool.
there's a promotional thing in GTA 5 right now where you get an email, and in the email it says "Come here to find treasure," and it has a picture attached to it, and then you can go to like the picture of somewhere on the map, and if you go there, it'll give you a clue, and then you go find some other stuff, and you actually get a revolver that you're gonna get in Red Dead Redemption 2. If you do this quest in GTA 5. You get like the skin on this revolver, which I think is kind of cool.
I like that. You know, one of the things that kept me playing the Mass Effect games, at least 1, 2, and 3. Well, no, 1 because 1 was classic and it was a great game, but then 2, the fact that you brought your save into the new one, right? And then for 3, they did the same thing. I loved that. So the idea that even just for a developer, right? So you're Rockstar, so you have like GTA, but you do this cross between that and Red Dead. I love that. I love that. That's the tiny effort that will make like a nice game, like an awesome game.
Yeah, definitely. Just I don't know. I like when
it's just a little teeny effort.
Make that little tiny effort to kind of like have this connectedness. It's really good. It's nice. It's refreshing.
Well, we were talking about this in business class, right? This last semester of mine at university. They were talking about how places like Google, they have 20% time, and it's that during work hours, right? You know, they have specific blocks of time that are dedicated to work on whatever you want to work on. Like, you know, work on whatever project like comes to mind. And it was like something like Gmail was developed by some people during 20% time, or, you know what I mean? Like big projects. So if you're a game developer and if you're like Rockstar or something like that, it would be awesome to have a team or even have like 20% time that could just work on little things like that to just add that other dimension, that other level of coolness to your games.
I mean, I think it would be cool to see what people with those kinds of resources could come up with, because there's a bunch of game. Well, I say a bunch. Only one comes to mind. There's Gwent, the
Ooh,
card
yeah.
game,
Mm-hmm.
is based off of a
Witcher.
mini game in the Witcher series, and they like
Oh,
developed it
cool.
as a whole game so you can play it, like completely
Cool.
separate. And I would like to see what other,
Yeah.
big name games, developers can come up with. Just like a little bit of time every now and again, just working on this little side project, just like little separate mini games they can release like super cheap. And you just play separately, see what kind of snazzy stuff they come up with. I think that'd be really good.
Oh, Mink, pull up. Yeah, we will. Okay. And then after that, it looks like March 27th is a release date set for Far Cry 5. Have you guys heard anything about this one?
I've seen a lot of stuff on that one. I just personally hate the Far Cry series, so I'm not the best to talk about it. But it's so boring.
I enjoyed a Far Cry game, and that's because it was not a Far Cry game, but it was Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which was the expansion.
Oh boy.
And it was
I
fucking
have that on Uplay.
hilarious.
Oh man.
I loved it. With the tutorial,
Blood
and like
Dragon
the
was so
thing
good.
comes up and it's like, don't you hate pop-ups during a tutorial? It's like, yes! Yes, I do! You get it!
They went
This is so
full
good.
ham with Blood Dragon, and it
was amazing.
Awesome.
Phenomenal.
Oh man, now that makes me want to play it. You
Dude,
you
me
forget
too.
about things like that. Well, I forget about it because I'm on. I just I have Steam to auto load up when my computer turns on. Right,
Yeah.
you play not so much, so I just completely forget that I have that. But yeah, tremendous. That was an awesome little call it a spin-off, right? Because it was like
I mean, yeah, because it was kind of an expansion, but not at all. It was its
it's
own
standalone.
entity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you guys ever play? You ever check out the game State of Decay? That's a zombie survival game.
Yeah.
Briefly,
Oh, so good.
Could not stand it.
Oh my god, it's so good. There's a State of Decay 2 coming out, which is one of the top 5 hyped
that's
games
what I said
for me. Yeah.
So
it says 2018.
Sorry.
It's a sequel to 2013's State of Decay.
Let me just
DLCs
say,
for that game, not so
me and Mink were talking about this a bit earlier. But anything zombie related, I kind of hate with a burning passion, because I feel like I already know how it's gonna end, so that bores me. Everyone's like, oh, it's not about the ending, it's the journey, and it's like, yeah, that's fine, but the journey's shit if I know what the ending is, and the ending is everyone dies, zombies win, no matter what. So I don't like zombies.
About the journey, man. State of Decay allows you to build really cool bases. The first good base building game with zombies, I felt like, and it was just fun to play.
But you know what happens? You know what happens to your base is it gets destroyed and zombies win.
You win because you hold them out. It's an arcade zombie game, and it is very well executed. How to Survive, another one like that, very similar to State of Decay. That came out a long time ago, but both like arcade-like zombie games, which is very fun to play.
Actually, there was one game that had zombies in it that I adored, because it was like £2 on the Xbox 360 store, and it was a top down, and you were a little guy, and there were like power-ups that you could pick up, but it was just this square, and there were little zombie pixels coming in. You pick up a different gun and shoot them, and you just had to see how long you could survive. I really liked it. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, this is so random. Someone told me about this game a while ago, months ago, and I just found it on this list of games that are coming out in 2018. Have you seen Anthem?
Yeah.
Destiny 3.
That was what.
It's kind of like what Destiny should have been, or you know what I mean, right?
Right? Yeah. A lot of people have been saying the problem that some people had with Destiny is that it feels very basic, whereas the premise should have been
Mhm.
amazing because you're an invincible zombie with superpowers and crazy guns, but instead you just kind of run around shooting people, and that's it with very underwhelming guns. And then people saw stuff for Anthem
Oh my God,
during
what trailer are we
some
watching right now?
This is the Last of Us 2 trailer. High quality
Whoa.
stuff. Very good trailer.
This looks
my stream keeps
brutal.
freezing. I'm
Mhm.
still stuck on fucking the Detroit Android girl. What the
You're
hell?
not allowed to watch this stream, so alright.
It's
Take
my
it.
stream.
It's my stream.
It's our stream now, okay? This is a community
Oh
stream.
my
yeah.
God. I think it's funny
That
how at
is
any given
amazing.
point you could just be like, "This is my stream now," and I've given you that access.
But yeah, this trailer is pretty dark, but it's really good. It's not actually the best one. The first one they did, but it has a little audio. It's all dependent on that, so I didn't want to play it. Very emotional.
Oh, hanging to death is just something that I cringe.
She's good though. Don't worry about her.
Yeah, I see now. She just got Oh, and it was the
it was
other
brutal
side of
before.
the
It
hammer.
was
I thought it was a
claw.
hatchel.
Oh.
Oh, I thought it was a hatchet. She used the claw side of the hammer.
Uh huh.
That's
Oh my
brutal.
God.
Shit's
I'm
crazy,
into that.
man. I'm into that.
I'm into that. Like not like, oh yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
probably good. What I mean is, like, I don't know. Like it's interesting that they made that choice. That's a cool choice to make because zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse. You are gonna be like, fuck. What can I use as a weapon? Anything and everything. Claw side of a hammer, bitch.
Actually killed a person with that, but yeah.
But so just quickly on the subject of hanging to death.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, because Hoff just said that it was something that he would hate. Like, back when hangings were like a very prevalent thing. I can't remember who it was that told me this, but it was quite often, they were actually lucky if it was in the gallows, the floor falls out because usually the neck would snap, so they would die almost instantly. But the ones
When they
that were
dropped,
like, pulled
yes.
up, yeah. But the
Mhm.
ones that were pulled up into trees and shit, they would just suffocate. But another thing that they
Yes.
did is they would bind their hands and pull them up like that because all their weight is pulling down and it's cutting off the windpipe. So it would actually take a lot longer because they would pull themselves up, get air,
That's the
and then drop
torture
back.
way. Yeah, that's the
And it
crucifixion way. That's the
it
torture way.
could take like many hours. And I was just like, oh, there are three ways to die that I would just dread. And that's burning to death, drowning, and then hanging. Those
I just don't want to
three
die.
No, I'm good.
I
I
just
just
die.
don't like. How about that? Yeah, how about that?
I don't really care how I die. I just don't want to.
You know what? No, fuck it. I'll be cool if I die. If one day I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go take a nap, and then I don't wake up. Chill.
I mean, that feels like the best way, but like just in general, I'd rather just stay alive. Sounds good with me. That's why I die in my video game.
Right.
But what we're watching right now is Anthem gameplay.
But yes, so Anthem.
Destiny 3 basically, so it's gonna
They've
suck.
bullshit.
But it looks so cool.
Great trailer, but who knows if it's going to be any good or not?
Right.
This trailer is
Well,
insane. Graphics, man.
I feel like it kind of feels like it's going in a bit of a Lawbreakers way, where they released like stuff for it, and it was like, oh sweet, you can do all this stuff
Good
in all these
reference,
different
Lawbreakers,
directions
huh?
and stuff like that. And then the game actually released, and it was a giant flop. And everyone's just like, oh,
Yeah, I
it's
played-
not
I played-
nearly as cool as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I played Lawbreakers beta, like a couple of the betas, the closed and then the open and
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And I was really excited for it, and then I was like, I'll wait a few days to see if I can hear some stuff about it. And then I heard some stuff. I did not want to buy it anymore.
Do you
But
know what
this I'm
bothers me
actually
about some of
excited
these
for.
games? Yeah, some of these games like this with the big power suits and things like that, they never in the animation department, they never make them sort of believable in terms of the weight of these things. Like they would have to be
Oh, yeah.
dense, massive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually
And
watching it right now.
they
Sorry, in this Anthem trailer, it's kind of cool. Like to move really fast, they put like thrusters on the back, so they're not just like high sprinting with this heavy armor somehow. You know, Like they actually had like
Yeah.
thrusters
yeah,
and
it's
rockets. Like,
assisted by the armor.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
I mean, the one thing I'm looking at here is like, I am gonna be able to play as Tony Stark, and it's gonna be dope.
Yeah. Okay. And he gets to go underwater. Look at that. I've actually never seen this part. Huh. You're not there yet. But yeah, I mean, the only fear I
they're
have
in
of this
underwater.
game, honestly, is that it was made by EA, or EA's the producer. It's the only problem. With
Right.
it.
Produced by EA.
Yeah.
It's BioWare and EA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe in BioWare, but like, oh man, EA just has a knack of destroying good things. So what am I supposed to do?
I mean, just hope that they don't lock those cool fucking suits behind loot boxes, I guess.
Oh,
I'm sure there will be a
ouch.
loot box system. I'm sure.
There's gonna be loot boxes.
100%.
Have you seen now?
Dude, you know what? If it's skins, I'm chill with it. I'll look like a basic bitch, but I'll also be flying around, so I don't care.
Right.
As long as it's skins and not some game-breaking bullshit behind loot boxes, I'm fine with it.
Agreed.
But I'm excited
I-
for this game overall, so I'll get it when it comes out probably because I just love Destiny so much, and Destiny 2 failed me, so I need something to replace that hole
Well, I
in my heart.
mean, they're obviously going to do an open beta, which I will play, and if I enjoy it, I will 100% get my friend to buy the game because I'm poor. But
you know,
I am genuinely looking forward to it.
I've just thought of something that I don't think I've really kind of thought of before, and it's that I think that generally what bothers me about these types of games is that they're just not like proper shooter enough for me. They're a little bit more arcade, like what do you call it? Arcadey, you know? The over the shoulder aiming and all that kind of stuff. You know, the not down the sights stuff. You know, it doesn't keep me engaged.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes just
stuff
from
I was seeing there with the auto locking and shit like that on the rockets. That kind of reminds me of being in a Titan in Titanfall, which
yes,
I could be into, because as we discussed last time, I really liked the Titanfall 2 story. It was so much fun.
I love the campaign.
And
I'm actually probably gonna play through it
Yeah.
again. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, oh yeah.
I played through it
I went through
on
my
own
2017,
time.
you know, Twitch
Yeah.
Twitch gave you like your 20 year in highlights.
Yeah.
And it was from the beginning of the year. At the beginning, like I've got a couple of highlights from playing Titanfall 2, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
actually, that was
Well, I
pretty
mean,
fun.
I played it when it first came out. I played through the campaign, and I just a few weeks ago started a new campaign on stream. And I was like, it's fine. I'll play this. I'll kill a couple of hours, then I'll go to bed. And I'm like 2 areas away from the end of the game. I played most of the game in one sitting because I was just like, fuck. I forgot how much I love this. I can't put it down.
Mhm.
And it's just so good. And if Anthem can capture that and plop it in a game,
Sure.
sold.
I actually kind of agree. Like if the suits are a little bit more like the Titans, then they are like you're just a person, like you're just a soldier playing, you know, then maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, I always forget, man. There's so many good games coming out in 2018. I feel like it's gonna be even better than 2017, and always you feel that way before the game's actually released. But there's just so much.
Yeah,
promise.
no, but we have real stuff here, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think 2018 is going to be a
the thing
good
is, a lot of the
good year
games
for
that we've
games.
talked about have definitely been, you know, sequels to already existing amazing games.
Yeah, that's true.
So as long as they follow
Sure.
the same formula, and you know, as long as it's not just reskins across the board, I don't think they can go wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm looking forward to this year. The only one that's kind of up in the air is Anthem, because it could go either way.
There's a couple
There's
more.
nothing
I'm
to
not.
kind
I'm
of
not
base it off
convinced
of.
on Detroit by Human yet.
Well, yeah, I kind of wish we could know definitively kind of
What's the
what
story?
kind of game it is. What is the tone of the game?
Actually, another game that I'm not certain is going to be good is the Spider-Man. Although I'm hoping it's good because who doesn't want to just fling around as Spider-Man? gameplay looks good. You know, like how you actually control the guy, like you're flinging around in New York. That looks badass, right? But the story is just like, not sure. And I feel like they have to hit the story to actually have it be a good game.
I feel
wasn't
like,
there
I don't
a
know.
few years ago? Wasn't there a Spider-Man game that was actually
There
pretty well
was.
received? Yeah,
I'm
I
not sure
didn't
how
get
well
to play
received
it,
it
but-
was, but I'd never heard anything about it like after it released. But that might have been my fault.
Oh, sure, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I hope this game's good. I'd probably never buy it, but it'll be a fun watching one on stream.
Oh, what was the other one? The other game that I thought I saw in 2018 was it like a Monster Hunter sequel thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Monster
Hunter 2.
Hunter World.
Yeah, that world. Yep.
It is the first Monster Hunter game to exist outside of handheld consoles.
Yeah, it's gonna come on PC soon.
Super cool.
I
Reminds
played the
me,
beta. Not
you did?
impressed.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay,
it
okay.
looks cool. Everything looks phenomenal. All of the designs of all the different monsters, beautiful. I had a little cat, and he had fucking goggles. It was phenomenal. Everything looks amazing. The combat,
man.
which is it's very combat driven game, was
Yeah,
just
the whole
heavy
thing.
and clunky and just boring. Honestly, it
Oh,
was
that's too
like
bad.
take forever to swing your sword, hit it for a little bit of damage, and it's just spamming the same button over and over and over again.
Reminds me a lot of
Yeah, that stinks.
oh god, is it Evolve? The PvP Monster Hunter thing? I don't remember the name of it anymore. Yeah, reminds me a little bit of that. Except you can do it with like co-op. I think the drive of this game is like you collect cool weapons and skins, right? That's the end goal. Is just like
I
deck your
think
character
so.
up.
Just to make your character look as badass as possible.
Beat
Which
some
I'm gonna
cool
be
stuff.
honest is my goal in any game.
Right.
Like if my character could be super powerful and look fabulous, I'm gonna do it.
There you go.
Like even in Dark Souls, fucking
Dark
faction
Souls, yeah.
souls to the max.
Now, have you seen the movie
So
It?
much.
Has anyone seen the movie It here?
Nope.
Well, the It or the new It?
Is it like IT or
Both. Let's say both. Which
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've seen the old one because you
I
seemed-
have. Yeah.
You have. I
Yeah.
started to, but I was
Stephen
younger.
King?
I was only
Mhm.
like 12 at the time, and I got pretty freaked out, so I stopped watching.
It is.
Haven't
Well,
gone back
it's
to watch
like
it since.
that suspensey kind of, because if you go back and watch it, it's not scary. It's not.
Oh yeah.
You
Well, I
know,
mean,
at all.
we were talking about this a little bit before on the last episode. I brought up Jaws because my aunt
Sure.
is terrified of that movie because she saw it when it first came out. And she was a kid, and it was like, "Fuck, that's a big shark. Gonna need a bigger boat." But like she's still terrified of it to this day. But me having watched it, I was like, "That's just awful." I feel like it's a similar thing with it, which is why they remade it.
Right.
Because it is I mean the books were notoriously phenomenal, a little bit fucked up, but so I mean it makes sense that they would make an actual scary film based around this terrifying premise. I like that idea. Hey, you remember when this was a gaming podcast?
no? I don't remember that. Man, movies are in the universe of gaming. You know,
Yeah.
it's better.
Oh yeah. Well, this is one of those things. So, in the original It,
Yes.
Tim Curry was Pennywise,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Tim Curry was such. I mean, that laugh, creepy. He was so good. Man, oh man, oh man.
Oh yeah.
I think
'Cause
they did a pretty
it
good
was
job.
a perfect mix between like I don't know, like it wasn't like he was sinister. That was the thing. He wasn't like terrifying. Well, maybe he was terrifying, but in all the right ways. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't based off of, you know, stupid shit. Like, oh, he's a ghost of Christmas clown past, and he hates the children's. Fuck off. He's actually a sinister character, and he plays the character so well. So creepy. And I've heard that the new guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, is very much the same.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah. Sure. Old Bill. He,
Billy Boy. Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Billy Joel. Yeah, I've heard that he does very, very good things in this newest one. The new
That's
one.
cool.
So I kind of want to watch it, ish, but at the same time, not a big clown guy.
Oh, that's why I know it. Sweden hype. That's right, shits. Yeah.
Don't do it if you're not a clown guy, man.
When I was
peer
very
pressured to
young,
it.
I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I loved clowns. And one of my mother's friends, he was a dick. My mother like completely cut off communication with him after this. There was a party. He got a little bit drunk, and he decided to go in depth into the origin of the red nose.
The red
which
nose?
was
Okay.
yeah, like cause clowns have like the red nose. Now it's the fake nose, everything like that. But apparently the way it originated is it was just like through some fucked up events, and there was like killing and rape involved, and then they would take the blood and they would dip it on their nose before performances. And I was like 7, so I was just like, nope, done with clowns now. Brilliant. Hoff hasn't said anything in a while. Hoff, you okay?
I'm here.
Okay.
Bully Hoff to say something.
You were super quiet.
He's scared of clowns, all right? We don't mess up.
I don't like clowns.
You don't?
No, I don't like clowns.
Good. Fucking weird. You know what? That's it. When I do a face reveal, I'm gonna be dressed as a clown. Yeah, Hoff, you might not know about this, but I'm planning whenever I get like a proper rig set up, and I can stream with a face cam from PC comfortably. I plan on doing the entirety of my first stream with one of those rubber horse masks.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. Mink, get that the fuck off.
What's wrong? Are you seeing something, Sally? And I'm confused.
What? Is there something wrong?
I'm just saying you can leave that there, and I will respond exclusively in honks from now on.
The one thing I would want to get for my household, in 2018 would be, I think, a Switch.
Yeah,
actually.
Me too. Switch is on the rise.
Oh yeah.
Games. Good family games, good party games. Anything.
Exactly. The family games thing is yeah, that's the draw for me, is the family
I think
games
a lot
thing.
of like for most people the big thing was like I've been talking to quite a few people who have said, you know what, fuck it, I'll get the Switch just for Zelda. Like that's how good the new Zelda game is.
Right.
And then you have Odyssey as well, Mario Kart, bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Splatoon, if you like that type of thing. I think there's some party game, right? There's a Mario Party, which is a fun one for couch co-op. Well, I guess we're good then, right?
I think that about wraps it up. I
think it's good. All right, Stallion, you do the outro, I guess.
I do the outro? No, Hoff does the outro. I did the intro last week.
I think we should do
outro.
something.
You did the intro this week. Hoff does the outro.
Okay.
It makes sense in my head. Next week, Hoff will do the intro and I'll do the outro. Not next week, but next time.
Oh my gosh. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
All right. That's been the Player versus Podcast. This year in gaming 2017 episode. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
That was
over.
That was good. That was sexy. What?
Yeah. Jizz in my pants.